This is the lecture for manipulating feature classes for Introduction to GIS. We are going to break this lecture down into several components. The first of which is going to be looking at how to alter and edit individual vertices of a particular feature class and of a particular record within a feature class. So in shorter terms, what that means is being able to change the shape in many cases of a polygon, although you can do this with a line or a point as well. This comes into play if you have a change in location or if an area expands. Maybe it's a flood area or maybe it's a property line or something like that where you need to go in and actually alter what the shape of the polygon looks like. This is a fairly simple process and is used pretty readily. So initially you just need to have a database that you have access to, in other words, that you can edit. I just have the United States up here and I've just zoomed into a certain area of it. The process itself is fairly simple. You need your editor toolbar. Again, if you don't have it, you would need to go to your Customize Toolbars and down to Editor. Mine is already loaded here, so we'll just go from there. You pull down and you start editing. It asks you what feature class or what item it is that you're interested in editing. The shape of your cursor, the function of your cursor changes a little bit, so you can tell that you're now in editing mode. If you need to get back to here, it's this little arrow that is labeled as the editor tool or the edit tool. You just move into the polygon that you're interested in editing and double click. When you do that, you get these green boxes. These are what are referred to as a singular vertex or a plural vertice. And you get a little dialog box here, little toolbar that allows you to do different things with them. The function of these is that when this shape was being digitized, when somebody was actually drawing this shape, every time there is a little box is where they made a click and a latitude and longitude point was captured. You'll see that where there are curves in the line, there are a lot more because the person had to click, 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 click in order to make the shape, in this case of the river. Where there is just a straight line, you'll see that they only made a few clicks because they weren't so necessary. But either way, once you get into the editing process, if you hover your cursor over one of the vertices, you'll see that the shape of it changes. If you right click, you will open up a dialog box where you can delete that vertex. I can go through and delete a whole bunch of them. If I say don't want to mimic the river, or maybe the river line changes. So here what happened is I accidentally clicked out of the box and I lost my vertices. It's okay, just go back in, double click, and they return. Then I right click and delete it. I can also go to the line and right click and insert one if I want to add one. Maybe the river got more curvy or it moved to a different area. If again you hover over it and regular click with your index finger and hold, you can drag that vertice to wherever you need it to be pulled to. Maybe the floodplain expanded, maybe the river moved to a certain area, whatever. There are all kinds of reasons to need to change the shape of a polygon once it's been created. So once you've done whatever changes it is that you're interested in, you would go back to your editor toolbar, stop editing, and you would save your edits. I'm not going to because I like Idaho the way that it is. If you select no, then you just go back to what you started with. So again, that's a fairly common process. It's a fairly simple process. And for this part of the lecture, that's all that we will cover.